Welcome back to Capital Conservatives. Today, Senator Kennedy grilled officials Singh and Lowery on Russian sanctions and export controls in the banking sector, the stakes, global sanctions, oil price caps, and whether Putin could win this war. Stay informed, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives. Senator Kennedy supports sanctions on Russia, but pointed out that only a third of the world's population lives in countries backing them. Singh agreed a broader coalition would be ideal, but stressed that population isn't the same as power. The real leverage, major reserve currency issuers, and top tech producers are imposing the sanctions. That's the advantage the U.S. and its allies have right now.
Senator Kennedy is recognized from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to talk just for a second about sanctions with respect to Russia, which I support. I think most of us do. Only a third of the world's population lives in countries that have both condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine and have agreed to join into the sanctions imposed by the United States and the West. Mr. Singh, doesn't the Biden administration need to do a better job of getting our world's neighbors on board?
Senator, thank you. As a self-critique, I wish we had a broader coalition, but I wouldn't want to make the mistake of conflating population with power. These sanctions work where we have an asymmetric advantage. The world's major reserve currency issuers, with the exception of China, are all part of this sanctions regime. So we collectively deny foreign capital to Russia. That's what matters. We collectively have the world's major designers and producers of cutting-edge technology within the sanctions regime. It may not represent the majority of the world's population, but it's the group that matters. So we're delivering impact.
Let me stop you for a moment, and I apologize.
No problem.
The time goes by so quickly.
Kennedy pressed, "Why can't we convince India to join the sanctions?" Singh explained Washington is playing the long game, building ties through trade, energy, and defense, but India has historically stayed non-aligned. Singh emphasized patience. Diplomatic leverage grows over time.
Why can't the Biden administration convince India to help us?
We're trying. I tried. I went there, and we've had a steady stream of officials go to India and try to work with the deal space that we have. I think we've got quite a bit of leverage because of the relationship that we're building across trade, energy, infrastructure, finance, defense. I think we got to play the long game. Countries that have historically tried to carve out a non-aligned stance and want to hedge their bets somewhat.
Well, but I understand the long game, and I know sanctions take time, but in the long term here, Putin could win.
Things got intense. Kennedy highlighted the $60 price cap on Russian oil, noting China and India pay far less. It's not crippling Putin's finances. He asked why not set the cap at Russia's marginal cost. Singh said a coalition is needed to influence prices. Kennedy insisted the cap is not enough.
As you know, Europe and the United States have designed a set of sanctions and export controls to basically try to cap the price of Russia's oil at $60.
Yes.
Now, we both know that's not terribly punitive because China and India are paying a whole lot less than $60 a barrel to China.
In part because of the cap, Senator.
And you mentioned, if we really want to cut off Putin's cash flow, why don't we set that cap at the marginal cost of production for Russia?
Yeah,
follow up on what Senator Menendez said. Now you've done something. Why don't you do that?
I think we can get there.
Well, what are we waiting on?
Well, first you got to build a coalition. You got to get enough countries to have a coalition that has bargaining power, that can actually influence the global price of oil, because that's what we pay. And now we've got a 37 or so country coalition that's influencing the price that Russia can sell its oil to. Not only to us, but we're not importing any.
I get it. I understand it, and I understand the politics of it. You've got to worry about the price of gasoline, too, in America. I get all that. But what are we waiting on? The longer we wait, I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that Putin has misjudged the people of Ukraine.
Yes.
And it's becoming clearer and clearer that President Xi has misjudged President Putin. He believed him, that he could roll into Kiev like thunder on a summer night.
Lowery noted EU disagreements made it hard to set a lower cap. Some countries wanted it lower, others higher, sparking heated debate. Kennedy's takeaway: Europe depends on the U.S. Without America, Putin could be much further ahead in this war. The hearing showed sanctions are complex and global diplomacy takes time, but the U.S. remains central in keeping Putin in check.
Now, you say on the one hand that's good. On the other hand, that makes both Xi and Putin desperate, which I think is why Xi is talking about sending arms to Putin. Why don't I understand the politics of it, but why don't we just go to our friends in Europe and say, look, we're going to either win this thing or not. Now, this $60 cap on oil, we both know that's not having a serious effect. It's having some effect. I don't mean to criticize your work. But if you really want to strangle them, reduce that cap down to the marginal cost of production for Russia, and you cut off their cash flow.
Senator, I think two things can be true. We are having an effect. His oil and gas revenues are down almost 50% year over year. But you're right that we can do more. For example,
Let's do it. Why aren't we doing it?
Well, I'm no longer in the administration. Maybe we are working on it.
Yeah, but you got friends there.
Sure. Maybe we are.
I mean, I don't mean to just pick on you.
Well, no,
but you're a very
these are
smart
fair
guy, and I've
questions.
learned a lot listening to you. Gentlemen, do y'all have any thoughts on that?
I think you make very fair points. Dileep's point is a very good one, which is it's just hard sometimes to build a coalition. If you saw the argumentation within the EU over the $60 price cap was as far as I can tell from an outsider's view, a knockdown, drag-out fight within the EU. And so, because I think there were countries like Poland who wanted a much lower cap, but then there were other countries who wanted a higher cap.
Well, and excuse me if you interrupt them, but I'm about out of time. Let's just face reality, okay? Europe, if we've learned nothing from this, we've learned that Europe is totally dependent on the United States of America for its security, period. And if were it not for the United States of America, Putin would be in Paris right now. I think we need to get a little tougher and firmer on our friends in Europe. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
Kennedy's questions revealed more action is needed, especially on oil price caps. Subscribe to Capital Conservatives for more on these debates and